It's time for Home Loans Radio on Real Radio with that mortgage guy, Don. Join the conversation. Text us at 77031. Now, here's that mortgage guy, Don.
Hey. Good morning. You are listening to the Home Loans Radio Show. We are here doing what we do every single weekend morning. I'm here with my crew. Who's here?
MJ.
Hey, MJ. Good morning. Who else is here?
Soy estado unadense.
El Jefe Fritze. Good morning, Fritz. You sound like you've had your coffee this morning.
Oh, man, so many. I've had so many, and that and the other thing that we can't mention on air because of STC license. But we were chatting about it before the show.
Right?
Ah.
Welcome to the Home Loans Radio Show, where we talk about what, MJ?
Mortgages.
Yes, we talk about mortgages and home loans. And
the suspense was getting you there for a minute.
Yeah, I was hoping you remembered, and hoping that wasn't, the big one, the stroke. But
Oh my God.
Just looking at me with one eye closed, like mortgages. Yep, that's it. Welcome to the show, everybody.
What am I doing here?
Right? Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful weekend morning. We're here doing what we do every single weekend morning, which is answer your questions about home loans and mortgages and refinances. And stay with us. It's more exciting than it sounds. We have a little fun with it.
So much fun.
Yeah, we're here every single week doing the thing you can participate in. Please do. That's how this show runs, on that fuel of your questions and queries, and you can text those in to 77031. It is a live show. Get your questions in there. We will get full. We may not even get to them all, but we'll do our best. You can also go during the show to homeloansradio.com. That's the website.
Oh, yeah.
And all kinds of good stuff there. But you can also click a button there that says Give Don a Shout. That will allow you to record a audio question that we will play during the show. And you can, be on the radio with us. And
Woo-hoo!
So we won't feel like we're here alone doing all this.
Screaming into the void.
Beautiful weekend morning. Also, text into 77031 and just tell us what you're doing. MJ,
I like to know.
MJ has a very inquiring mind, specifically about what you're doing while we're doing this in here.
What you doing out there?
And a lot of folks do text in and tell us what you're doing. A lot of people working on Saturdays. A lot of people going to the beach seems to be a theme. People doing their yard, mowing the lawn.
Might I just add to, as soon as October comes, that's the off season when it comes to beaches. And that's when all of the real Florida heads, those who know, that's when you go out to the beach. And oh man, I can't wait for that time.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like right before the Canadians, because they all show up, in January?
Yep. That $150 hotel room is suddenly $70.
Yes.
Yeah. The that's when the weather's warm, for them. They come down here.
Oh yeah. The Canadians come like in when it's freezing there, but also cold here.
Right.
And they're out there in the beach by themselves. It's nice.
Well, what's going on in the world of mortgage news this week, MJ?
Oh, I don't know. Please tell me.
All right. Since you asked, I'll tell you. We've got what's going on. Rates are still low, but I've been mentioning, and I'm going to keep mentioning that they're starting to creep a little bit.
Are they?
Yeah, if you're super well qualified, you can still get a 30-year rate down in the 2.875 range, or a 15-year rate down in the low 2s, 2.25-ish. It depends on your score, your loan to value, what how much, if you're taking cash out, if it's a primary or an investment property, that kind of thing. But still, rates are pretty good. But we are seeing, as I explained last week, between the rates go in eighths of a point. So there's like 2.5, 2.625, 2.75, and 2.875. But in between, say 2.875 and 3%, there's 100 ticks, we call them, or 100 basis points. And so it has to move up 100 points in the the financials before it clicks over to the next rate. So each week for the last 3 weeks, it's been going up 14 points, 15 points. This week it went up about 19 points. So it's clicking up a little bit at a time. The main reason is there's some uncertainty. The Fed is supposed to talk next week and decide what they're doing about tapering. And tapering means that since COVID started in 2020, the government has kind of been propping up mortgage rates and by buying billions of dollars of our own U.S. Treasury bonds and also billions of dollars of the mortgage-backed securities. And it's worked. It's kept rates low. That's kept the housing sector going. It's kept a lot of things, construction. It's helped keep big parts of the economy going. when things were tight before it started improving some. But now they're saying, okay, well, if we keep doing that, it's going to cause inflation. And we're starting to see some of that inflation. So the big question is, all right, when is the Fed going to stop doing that? Stop buying those bonds, buying the treasury bonds, buying the mortgage-backed securities? And we keep waiting. Every time they have a meeting, we think this is the meeting. And so the financial markets are nervous. The stocks, the NASDAQ, everybody who invests in these type of things is kind of sitting and on their hands waiting for that shoe to drop, so to speak. And when it does, we would expect that the rates are going to go up. And it could be in a pretty quick way. We could be seeing rates right now 2.875, and next week after that Fed meeting, that could be gone. It could literally be 3.25.
Wow.
Or higher, depending on what they announce, what happens, and then the reactions that take place in the market. So bottom line, what am I telling you? If you're thinking about refinancing, if you didn't do it last year when there were record rates for the whole year, you've got another chance right now. You've got an opportunity, another kick at the cat, so to speak. And you can still do that. I make it super simple, by the way. If you're one of those folks that's saying, I want to find out, but it's too hard. Well, that's okay.
I just want to lay in my bed and scroll through my phone. Listen to this great show.
The voice of experience. Yeah, I make it super simple. You go to homeloansradio.com, you click the button up at the top, says apply now, you plug in some of your data, your info about your house and your mortgage, and then we send you a quote. Simple as that. And if you like it, then we'll walk you through it. We make it real simple. Even the closing is done at your home. We send a notary out to your house to do the closing. I really work hard to make sure that it's simple for you. All done paperless, all done, electronically, and simple and easy. At least find out
Sure.
If you don't know, find out. It's also a great time to get pre-approved and to buy a home. The big hesitation for a lot of people over the last year or so has been that, what have people been telling us, MJ?
That they can't find a home, and then when they find it, there's 10 people in line.
Right. And that the prices keep going up on those homes.
Right.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Well,
because I want to buy a house.
Right. Go on.
That was my question.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like there was more.
Just text it into 77031.
All caps. Yeah, what's the deal with that? Because I want to buy a house.
Yeah, the price has been going up because of the main thing is supply and demand. There's a lot of people out there that are qualified, that are able, that want to buy, and there are fewer people that were wanting to sell. A lot of people wanted to stay where they were until they figured out what was going to happen with their jobs and with COVID and all that. So there's been more demand than supply. But I will say that's kind of reversing. I've been hearing for the last few months, I've been hearing from realtor partners and other people out there that there are fewer and fewer offers. Still, instead of, I'm not saying it's changed completely. Instead of 20 offers, there might only be 6. So it seems to be that there is more inventory on the market. And I went and did some research this week to kind of verify that. And I looked it up. Well, this past week, the number of new listings, just this past week, and we're in the third week of September. The number of new listings on the market went up by 2%.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about a state, that's thousands and thousands of new listings. And then I went back and looked. The market's still down from a year ago by 22%. But then I went back and looked, and in 21 of the last 25 weeks, the number of listings has increased by a percentage. So for the last 4 or 5 months, we're seeing more and more houses come back on the market. So this is definitely the time. If you've been sitting on the sidelines or you got frustrated a few months ago because you couldn't find something, get that pre-approval refreshed. We can do that very simply. If you haven't started one, again, you go to homeloansradio.com, click the apply now button. We can get your pre-approval done. If you did one back in January and you got fed up with trying to find that house, now's the time to start looking. Inventory is coming on the market again. And as I said, 21 out of the last 25 weeks, the number of listings has increased on the market. So we're seeing that problem of supply and demand start to go the other way a little bit. I think you've got a good chance. We're also seeing where prices were going up and up every month. We're seeing that's kind of leveled out a little bit too. As more supply comes on the market, prices are staying kind of level right now. So definitely a good time to buy, a good time to refinance. You can text your questions into 77031.
Yeah, people are.
What we got?
All right, here's someone who says, I'll be getting married soon.
Aww.
Well, I'll be asking this coming week. So,
look, that's one of those questions that you want to know the answer to before you ask.
Right. That's assume that you know the answer.
Especially if you're doing it like on the Jumbotron at the Rays Stadium or something.
Oh, man. That sounds so good. Especially because the Rays are on fire.
hopefully, it seems to be the trend where people get super creative with the proposals these days. I hope you're putting some effort into it.
Yeah, just every now and then be like, hey, I'm gonna make you, my wife one day. I'm gonna ask you to marry me. Just kind of get those hints in there. That always helps.
Make sure. Yeah. Just sometimes when you're laying around, say, "Well, I wonder what it'd be like to be married."
And if they spit out their coffee and run out of the room crying, then don't ask.
If they say, "I'll be right back," and they never come back, then that's an indicator.
2 nervous hours right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, props to you, and I'm sure
congratulations.
I'm sure the answer is yes,
of
and
course.
you will be getting married soon. And congratulations.
Anyone who listens to this show is a fine quality person. That would be a catch.
Absolutely a catch, and that should be your leading line.
Right.
By the way,
before I love you and cherish you, just
all
say,
that. Just say,
I listen to Homeloans Radio.
I just want you to know,
yeah,
I'm that guy, or girl. How will being married affect us getting a loan?
Well, it really won't. In most cases, there's really kind of a limited way where being married or not being married affects you in buying like a conventional loan, or, buying with a conventional loan or an FHA loan, because you can buy a house you can be just friends, you can be brother and sister, you can be fiancés, you can be,
people who met at the train station,
domestic partners. You can buy a house. There's no requirement that you be married to do the application. Now, you'll have 2 separate applications that you'll do if you're married. If you're not married, but if you were, you would be jointly on one application, but it's still the same. The only one where it's different is the VA, the Veterans Loans. If you're a veteran and you want to put your spouse on the loan, then you can do 100% financing with your spouse on the loan. But if you try to put your partner or girlfriend or boyfriend or other on there, they don't recognize that the same, and they'll still do the loan, but they will only do it at 87.5%. So you don't get the benefit of that 100%. But really the VA is the only one that discriminates with you being married. And then of course the other thing when you're married is it goes by the lower of your 2 credit scores if you're both on the loan. So if you've got an 800 score and your person has a 600 score, well, then you may want to think about possibly not putting them on there. What happens with that, we go by the lower score of the 2 borrowers, and that can bring your interest rate up if one person has a very drastic credit score difference. So that's one thing to look at. You get to combine your funds, you get to combine your jobs, so it gives you more buying power.
So maybe before you pop that question, you might want to pop the other question of, "Hey, what's your credit score?"
Hey, how's your credit? Because that's so romantic, MJ.
I was wondering. I was just wondering.
I asked this question on the radio, and I think I should ask it of you. How is getting married going to affect me buying a house? And you can pop the other question by going to homeloansradio.com, which is where you do the pre-qual button, and we make sure that you guys can get pre-qualled.
Ryan Holmes talked about that in his comedy routine. One of the sexiest things about his girlfriend was her credit score.
Yeah,
something he didn't know in the beginning, but turned out now they have a house.
Don, I thought you were intimating that they should go to homeloansradio.com, click the Leave Don a Shout Out button, and then pop the question to get married on air. We play it right here on the radio.
That seems like a lot of pressure.
That seems like a fine idea.
And then she's like, "Why are you making me listen to this show?"
He's like, "Just wait." And then an hour and a half passes. Maybe this isn't the episode. Hold on.
Yeah, they're like, "I'm asleep. Could you go do whatever it is you do on weekend mornings?
Dio mio.
Bother me later."
Yes. Well, we have a lot of questions.
All right, let's answer some.
They are pouring in.
I really want to do a cash out refinance. What is the best way to do so if my credit is below the minimum, but I have a lot of equity in my home?
Well, what I would do is first, I would still encourage you to do the application so I can see your credit report and see where you are and see what's causing the score to be low. We have a tool that's called a credit simulator, what if simulator, and I can look at that and say, okay, what if we target this credit card and pay it down, and maybe we pay off this collection, and I can click each of those individually, and it'll tell me what it will do for your score over time. And so I can say, okay, in 2 months' time, if you do this, this, and this, your score will be up to 640. And maybe that will be enough where you can refinance and accomplish your goals. If your score is super low and we can't get it up to a certain level, then really there's only one thing. It's called a hard equity loan. And it's kind of a private loan. And we got to take a break, but I'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, it's Deborah Roberts. Do you have a question for that mortgage guy, Don? Text him now at 77031. Now, back to Home Loans Radio on Real Radio.
I like it. Good morning. You're listening to Home Loans Radio with that mortgage guy, Don, where he lays some real mortgage facts down on us. That's right.